WrestleMania Night 2.
The final segment ever of the Pro Wrestling Zone. Remember, next week we are starting our new series.
Make a Pro Wrestling Majestic again. Hooray.
All right, so let us end with a bang. And why a bang? We're talking WrestleMania 37
luckily,
two.
no rain delay.
There was no rain delay at all.
Right. And let's start with our first
match.
match.
Oh my God!
I don't know how I feel.
I think the match itself sucked, but the Fiend, and not just the Fiend, Alexa fucking Bliss.
There was
the fuck.
There was a porno that I watched earlier this week as I was touching myself, and it went very similarly to this. except it ended up for the girl getting double gang raped and then taking a little bit of some white gooey shit to the face.
Instead of white gooey shit, Alexa Bliss took some black gooey shit to the face.
Exactly.
I mean, there's so much sexual innuendos in this. I'm coming.
And this is what happens when I eat enough. What are those things that turn your piss red?
Beets.
Beets. I ate enough beets for anything. That's kind of what it'll look like. Anyway, so yes, the match itself was not great. It wasn't.
Not. It was the weakest match of the whole pay-per-view. It was terrible.
The blow off to the event itself, to the rivalry itself, I thought they did great.
That was fine. You know,
the entrances.
And quite frankly, it's not even about Randy Orton at this point. This is about Alexa Bliss and the Fiend. Like,
get Randy Orton away from it, and they did. But the entrances were unfucking believable.
I'm not talking about Randy Orton's entrance. I'm talking about the Fiend's entrance.
I don't know. Randy Orton doing that with all like the pyro going off, it did look really cool.
It did, but the Fiend's entrance. Fantastic!
It just, like, come on. How can you hate that? The new look of the Fiend. He's no longer Cinnamon Toast Fiend. He kind of looks the same. So
he's now back to OG.
Okay, people were bitching about this. This was not anybody else but Bray Wyatt.
No, this was not Bo Dallas.
It was not Bo Dallas.
Because everyone's assuming it was... Now, here's the thing.
But Bo Dallas was cut like a weird ton of weight.
Yeah.
That guy fluctuates weight like our dad.
Right. So anyways, here's the thing. Is that this is where MoMA kind of comes in. This is where I'd be like, well, theoretically, Bo Dallas could be a part of this, and then they could move from the heavyweight to the tag team division and inject some life into the tag team division.
Now, obviously,
that is a preview of what is.
Let's talk about the finishing sequence, because what happened here was the ending of this rivalry.
So anyways,
there
was like ejaculation of like black.
So Alexa Bliss came out as like her general like little bunny hop whatever bullshit, right?
Like happy and evil Kylie Ray.
Right. Like a really hot evil Kylie Ray. So maybe somebody who may not be as unstable. Alexa Bliss then shows up on the gigantic Jack in the Box thing that they had. Oh, right. That was there, by the way. She was sitting there, just like, I don't even know where this shit was coming from. Was it coming from that crown that she was wearing?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, she had like all this black goo shit coming down her face. The Fiend was distracted, and then Randy Orton hits an RKO and pins the Fiend clean.
Yep.
Like I said, the match itself was whatever. I don't care, because that was not the point.
But the point is that what the fuck is going on?
The Fiend and Alexa Bliss, I think now, are going to be in a rivalry themselves.
They're going to be doing something.
Let's just say this. I am more curious about this. I don't think I've ever been more curious about a rivalry in wrestling like this in a while.
I know.
Like I'm almost like
weird as this. Like, what the hell?
I want to watch the next segment on Raw.
No, you're not.
I'm not going to watch Raw. I'm going to watch that segment.
Oh, okay. Anyways, let's move on to the next match. We spent over 5 minutes on that one match.
We spent 10 minutes on the last one. Shut up. Anyway,
whatever.
Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Natalya and Tamina. This was
holy crap
for the women's tag team.
That was our sleeper, but it was a good sleeper match.
This match, I said this was a hell of a match. It was amazing.
Sucked, but
yes,
the match itself was fantastic.
It was a Kirifuda clutch for Baszler and Jax to retain. Natalya and Tamina were white hot. Give them the belts.
And again, this is where it's like, this is WrestleHelia or something like that. Like, it's all heels who are winning these matches.
It was so strange.
It was.
But this match was so good.
It was.
It was a very good match. Tamina,
absolutely.
Tamina and Jax are just great chemistry. Natalya's great. Shayna Baszler, everyone in this match was great.
Yeah.
And I was so happy. This was so good. And it's like, come on, just give Tamina a belt. She doesn't have too much longer. She's in her 40s. Give her at least the women's tag. They should have won. They should have won. And also the crowd, so behind Natalya and Tamina.
Oh, absolutely.
They were pissed.
Oh, God, they were.
I mean, they popped so loud when Tamina hit that Superfly splash.
Oh, my God.
Huge.
Might as well disappoint the rest of the night, which they did.
I know, they kind of shit the bed other than the main event. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. They did a little bit of emphasis on Logan Paul, who was booed out of the building, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
But what I did like...
Although Kevin Owens did win this match, it was again, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens match, you're not going to have a bad match.
You're not. We've seen better, but I feel like this whole thing was kind of rushed. I'm surprised, number one, Logan Paul was there.
Right.
I thought his reactions were kind of funny.
Right.
And then he kind of came in and was like cheering. The crowd was booing Logan Paul. So Kevin Owens was like a huge face when he gave Logan Paul a stunner. And give him credit, he sold it well.
Yeah.
So Kevin Owens looked like a beast. Oh, man, you could tell, once again, this was one of those guys that was just so happy for a crowd. He literally turned his head because he was about to fucking cry. He was like, okay, composure.
Anyways, let's talk about...
Yeah.
So anyways, I want you to read from my notes, because I was taking notes at this time.
Yes, I was.
And I want you to read from my notes, word for word, as to how I felt upon the conclusion of said match.
Riddle versus Sheamus for the United States champion. Bro kick for some bullshit. Sheamus unfortunately wins. The match itself was really, really good.
It was.
And it was... So Riddle did like a moonsault, and Sheamus kicks him directly in the mouth.
With a brogue kick.
It's so fucking awesome.
Fuck. And this is when I lost. I lost my championship, so that's why. And you can tell that I wrote that.
Oh, yeah.
I had to keep track.
But
I had to watch my title get stripped away from me.
It was a clean win, bitch.
It was rigged. Rigged!
Clean win, bitch.
Rigged.
Anyway, it was still a really good match.
It was.
Big E versus Apollo Crews in the Nigerian drum fight.
It wasn't as festive as I was hoping.
I thought it was going to be a little more. I wanted a little because
I wanted like actual Nigerian like drummers like around the ring or something.
Here is the thing about this, and I actually did some research about what the whole thing is about this. The Nigerian drum fight does exist, and what Apollo Crews did describe, where it is where two warriors fight to hopefully gain back some credibility and respect. That is true. But the problem is that they did not do any of the ceremonial stuff going up to the Nigerian drum fight. And I feel like they wasted a big opportunity
to do something really cool with that.
And it was WrestleMania. It was perfect for it. Because also one of the things for this, they come into this with a drum ceremony.
Right.
And they are introduced by this, and Apollo Crews just coming out doing his regular shit was such a wasted opportunity to really kind of go into this new Nigerian Pred gimmick.
They hired the guy to like do Big E's theme song.
Wale, yeah.
And they didn't do. I would have rather seen the Nigerian drums.
I would have seen like a partial ceremonial thing.
Oh no, even a full ceremonial.
Like goddamn, I remember now it was like WrestleMania 21 when Big Show and Akibono had their sumo match. They did the ceremonial part of it.
Yeah.
The problem is that a lot of that it was not given into translation because they didn't tell the story the right way. for the ceremonial part. They could have done something like that with this match. They just didn't. The match
Think
itself,
about the Olympics. The Olympics, they will give you like the ceremonial like meaning of it, and then they will do the ceremony itself.
Right.
It's not that hard to do.
Goddamn, I want to learn some goddamn Nigerian shit, and I looked it up, and I was really excited about it. Anyways,
they did none of that, but let's talk about the actual finish of the match itself.
Where Dabakata, so I said a large man helped Apollo win.
It was Dabakata was repackaged to.
I think his name is Commander Alziz.
Who cares?
Alzeez. They did the copyright like a couple of days ago. But yes, Apollo Crews is the new Intercontinental Champion.
Me likey.
I liked it. I was so excited. And the match itself was really good. I liked it.
Yeah, it was a decent match.
I just kind of wish they did a little bit more as a part of like...
Better than the bullshit.
Now here's another thing, another bitch fest here. They could have had some really cool, traditional Nigerian, like, partial weaponry. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That really added... They had like a couple of drums, some tables, and kendo sticks. It's like, do you not realize that they train with like certain kendo sticks that look like cricket bats?
Spears or something. I mean, not like full spears.
Well, no,
stabby
like
spears, but
right.
Like, at least a shaft.
In Nigeria, the warriors even back in the day use wooden versions of those instruments. Why didn't you incorporate that into it?
Because they're fucking culturally irrelevant. Anyways, let's move on to the next match.
Even though Apollo Crews' entire fucking gimmick is based on Nigerian heritage. Anyway, whatever.
Yes.
Asuka and Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Champion. Now,
holy fucking fuck, that was a great match.
Really?
It was a great match. It wasn't terrible.
I was bored.
I mean, it was a sleeper, but it was still...
Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair was better by a magnitude of like 20.
It was still a great match.
It was fine.
I mean, it wasn't a Charlotte Flair match.
It was slog and boring. At least with Charlotte Flair, there's some charisma where Asuka just lacked it.
Oh, yeah.
It was weird. And
anyways, the reason I was to say is the right person won.
Yes, Rhea Ripley. Well, okay, Rhea Ripley is good. She's fine, but she is not ready for this. I'm sorry. She was the only person that could have beat Asuka. If Asuka beat Rhea Ripley, then what the fuck was the point?
Right.
And I'm not taking any credit from her, of Rhea Ripley.
I was kind of sick of Asuka. Asuka's act got old.
She does not have... I was so bored with this. But yes, Rhea Ripley won with one riptide. It's like, why?
Because reasons.
God. Like, shit.
At least it's someone who is not Asuka.
I would rather have Asuka. Anyway, Roman Reigns, Edge, Daniel Bryan, triple threat match for the Universal Champion.
Fantastic.
This was an amazing match.
It emptied my balls. It was so fantastic.
So I have to clean the couch then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
4.5-star match because...
And it was so Edge hit Daniel Bryan with a concerto. And then Roman Reigns, Jey Uso was involved, but it was still a great triple threat no matter what. And Roman Reigns hits Edge with a concerto, drags him on top of Daniel Bryan, and people are like, oh, why didn't he start the pin? Because Roman Reigns was still touching them, which would have broken the count, so it didn't matter.
Right.
Roman Reigns pinned both of them. He was on top of both of them.
He is the head.
He was at a table. He beat both of them. So Peanut Gallery did tell me that Daniel Bryan renegotiated his contract to where he's
only working part-time from here on out.
Thank God. What does Daniel Bryan...
Edge, I think, is pretty much done, but he might be working on a part-time basis. I don't know. All I know is that Daniel Bryan is on a part-time contract after today.
Right.
And I think part of it is because his other kid is coming.
Yes. Coming... Well, no. They have two now, I think. I don't think Brie's pregnant. Is she pregnant again?
No.
Is there a number 3 on the way?
Oh, no, never mind. I guess we're... Okay.
You might be thinking about Maurice.
Maybe.
Because now Maurice is pregnant.
Who knows? Anyways, Daniel Bryan is going to go retire and frolic and dances with the Bigfoots.
And Roman Reigns is still awesome.
Head of the table.
Edge was there because reasons, and I don't think anybody wanted him to win, so nobody cares. And it was a great WrestleMania. Once again, one of the best WrestleManias I've seen in a while.
Match of the night and
star
rating.
Same 4 questions. Match of the night, the star rating for that night and that overall WrestleMania.
So let's start with this night number 2. What was the match of the night for night number 2?
Reigns Edge Daniel Bryan was easily match of the night. And
agree.
I'm gonna give this show a 3.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
You thought this one was better than night 1?
They're about the same.
But
yes.
And then your match of the night was Reigns Edge Daniel Bryan.
The match of the whole pay-per-view, yes, it was. And I give the whole event.
The match of the whole pay-per-view, you're going to give it to the Triple Threat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, that was the best match of the entire pay-per-view.
I mean...
Who else are you going to give it to?
I have to disagree. I'm going to have to give it to Banks Belair.
Oh, really?
I thought that match was better. I
think the rivalry was better for the Triple Threat match.
It was probably...
that put it over for me.
I guess. And then I think overall, the entire star rating of WrestleMania this year was a 4, honestly.
I gave it 3.5.
I was just so happy.
I think that half of that was because the crowd was finally back and it felt great.
The pacing was really nice too.
God, the pacing was nice.
I didn't feel overwhelmed by anything. It just felt like WrestleMania. This was WrestleMania.
WrestleMania's back, baby.
Obviously, the presentation and the entrance and it all incorporates and did a great job.
Right. Anyways, so we talked a lot about next week. Brand new show, brand new concept. Make pro wrestling majestic again. And so that's it for the Pro Wrestling Zone.
Oh yeah, as always. Now keep in mind we're probably not going to change Be Majestic. Be
forever with Pro Wrestling Zone.
Be
majestic.